Okay, welcome to lesson 5.4, and we're back with the STYV method of graphing. We're going to work through graphing 4 more quadratics, but in the interest of just working through the math, we're not actually going to create the graphs. We're just going to go through the steps 4 times. And then there's some graphing practice after that you can try, and then check your answers on the course website, of course. So let's get started. We're going to work through those 4 steps, finding the y-intercept, the x-intercepts, the axis of symmetry, and the vertex for 4 different equations. Our first one's going to have little notes along the way, and the last 3 are not. So here we go. Y equals x squared plus 12x plus 20. So we're going to start by finding the y-intercept. The y-intercept is just the number at the end. So our y-intercept is 20. And then of course we'd graph it. Next, we have to find the x-intercepts by factoring. We're looking for numbers that multiply to 20 and add to 12. Numbers that multiply to 20 are 20 and 1, but that would add 21, 2 and 10. That one works because 2 and 10 add to 12. So we have x plus 2 and x plus 10. And now, if you want the x-intercepts, you take these numbers with the opposite sign, -2 and -10. So that means our x-intercepts are -2 and -10. And we can graph those. Once you have the x-intercepts, to find the axis of symmetry, you add them, -2 and -10, and divide by 2. And we would get -2 plus -10 would be -12 divided by 2 is -6. So our axis of symmetry is x equals -6. And our last step, we take our answer, -6, and we put it into our equation where the x's are. So it becomes -6 squared plus 12 times -6 equals 20. For that one I need a calculator. And we've got bracket. Bracket -6 squared plus 12 -6 plus 20. And we get -16. Oops, there we are. So that means our vertex is -6, -16. And now, once we've got our vertex, we take these important numbers, our y-intercept, our x-intercepts, our axis of symmetry, and our vertex, and we put them on the graph. And that will give us our graph. Let's try another one. X squared minus 4x minus 32. So start with the y-intercept. It's the last number. And then we factor. So we factor this. We're going to start with x, and we're looking for numbers that multiply to -32 and add to -4. So numbers that multiply to 32 are 32 and 1, 16 and 2, 4 and 8. These ones could work to 4. We could have -8 plus 4, and that's our pair. So we've got -8 plus 4. To find the x-intercepts, we change our signs, 8 and -4, and those become our x-intercepts. To find the axis of symmetry, we take our x-intercepts, 8 and -4, and we add them and divide by 2. We get 2. So the axis of symmetry is 2. And to find the vertex, we put 2 in our equation. So we get 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 32. 2 squared is 4. -4 times 2 is -8. Minus 32. We get -36. So our vertex of 2 parts. Negative 36 was our answer. When we plugged in, 2. And there we go. That's the 4 steps to speed graphing. We take our y-intercept, our x-intercepts, our axis, and our vertex, and we plug them in. All right, number 3. What I might suggest for number 3 is that you pause the video and try it first on your own, and then if you get stuck, hit play, and we'll work through where you got stuck. And if you finish it, let's see if you get it right. Okay, hopefully you've given it a shot. Let's see what we come up with. First, our y-intercept, it's just the number on the end, 16. And then to factor, we're going to start with x, and we're looking for numbers that multiply to 16 and add to -8. You might have got stuck here because it's a little tricky, but the numbers that multiply to 16 and add to 8 are -4 and -4. So we have -4, -4. To get the x-intercepts, we switch the signs, and we end up with 2 x-intercepts that are the same. They're 4, so that we only have 1 x-intercept. It's 4. And if we remember, this means that this x-intercept is the vertex. So the rest should be pretty easy. For the axis of symmetry, it would just be 4 plus 4, which is 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. So the axis of symmetry is 4. And when we plug in 4, we'll get the y of the vertex, 16 minus 32 plus 16, which should be 0. And it is 0. So therefore, the vertex is 4, 0. Why should it be 4, 0? Well, because that's what the x-intercept is. The x-intercept is 4, 0. And since we had 2 of the same x-intercept, that means the x-intercept is the vertex. That's a tricky one. Okay, for the last one, if you want to try it the same way, if you want to hit pause and try this one on your own before we get started, it's not a tricky one. It's like the first 2, not like the last one. Hit pause now and give it a shot, and then we'll try it together. Okay, hopefully you've tried number 4. The y-intercept's the number on the end, 24. To factor, we start with x, and we're looking for numbers that multiply to 24 and add to 10. Numbers that multiply to 24 are 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 6 and 4. 6 and 4 work. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 plus 4 is 10. To find the x-intercepts, we take the opposite signs. So our x-intercepts are -6 and -4. To find the axis of symmetry, we're looking for the number between these. It might be clear that it's -5, but let's add them together. Divide by 2, we do get -5. And our last step to find the vertex, we put -5 into our equation. So -5 squared plus 10 times -5 plus 24. Let's see what we get. That's 25. That's -50. That's 24. And if we put all those together, we get -1. So our vertex is always 2 parts, the axis of symmetry and what we get from plugging in the axis of symmetry. And there we have it. And if we wanted to graph this now, we plot our y-intercept, our x-intercepts, we draw our axis line, and we draw our vertex, and then we complete the curve. All right, that's it for lesson 5.4. There's a lot of practice in your lessons package. There's also practice in your practice package. But here is an equation. If you follow the STYV steps, you can speed graph these 6 examples, and you can check your answers on the course website. Or you can go right to the practice, and you can try them on your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for our last lesson, 5.5.